Hi everyone, this is Hiba from My Little Journal, and today I'm going to be working in my traveler's notebook. I will be documenting this photo of my son. He looked so handsome. He was going to homecoming, so I really wanted this whole spread to be about this photo. So I made my photo a tiny bit bigger than what I usually use in my traveler's notebook, but it's just because I really wanted this photo to be like the center of attention on my layout. I'm going to go ahead and start layering my photo, just grabbing some scrap paper, tissue, doilies, all that good stuff. I always recommend when you're adding layers to your photo to kind of let go. Don't look for perfection. Don't look for straight lines. If you do look for perfection and go with straight lines, your layers are going to be very rough and blah, if that makes sense. When you're adding tissue paper and doilies and tearing your paper, it really adds a lot of softness, depth to your layers. So I definitely recommend to let go and try this out. Believe me, if you let go, your layers will look so much better. Believe me. Anyways, I'm even gonna cut this strip of paper right off of my pattern paper or right off my spread. I don't care. I'm not looking for it to be perfect. I really wanted to have my layout to be very soft. I know it's a picture of my son, but that doesn't bother me. I still go for soft. It doesn't mean anything to me. I'll even use pink on his spreads. So I don't look for these things while I'm creating. I just go with what I like, if that makes sense. And what I'm liking right now is using my scrapbookcom ink pads. I've shared with you guys how much I'm loving these ink pads recently, and if you haven't seen my little review video, I will add it up at the eye. But I decided to use my ink pads and my ink brush, or my stencil brush from scrapbook.com, through a stencil, and this is going to add this beautiful soft kind of background to my layout, which I love. And I'm going to add it to my whole left side of my spread. Oh, no, that's my right side. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to add it to the right side of my spread through the stencil. Loving it. And then I'm going to start stamping. Now, I'm going to mess up big time in this spread, or while I was creating this spread, you guys. Sometimes that happens to me and my layout turns out totally different than what I envisioned. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. It just happens, and you have to let go of that. So this is what happens. I'm going to grab that beautiful floral stamp set from scrapbook.com that's called the Fresh Flowers, I think. No, Fresh Florals and Berries. And I'm going to stamp them on white cardstock, which I love doing. I love stamping my floral stamps on white cardstock, fussy cutting them out, and adding them to my spread. It's one of my favorite things to do. And once I do that, I end up adding them to the corner of my layout. Now I decided to do that because I wanted to stamp out a title. And when I stamp out titles, I usually write them down right next to me just to make sure that I don't misspell something or forget a letter, because when you're stamping, it's totally different than when you're writing something down. And this has happened to me so many times where I've forgotten a certain letter. And that's what's going to happen to me while I'm creating this layout. I start stamping my title, which is going to end up being looking sharp. And I'm going to forget the H in sharp. And I'm going to sit there and look at my title for a few seconds because I felt like something looked wrong or something was off. And then I'm going to try to figure out how I'm going to cover up my boo-boo. I'm going to have to end up covering up a lot of that beautiful stenciling in my background. Oh, I was so mad, but it was okay. Things like that happen, and it's okay. You're going to still see a little bit of my stenciling. And actually, this is where I kind of figure out that I made a big mistake. And this is why I should be writing down my titles. I didn't write it down, and I made a big boo-boo. So anyways, I'm going to grab those flowers, try to figure out how I'm going to cover it up, and I don't like how that looks. So I'm going to end up grabbing some pattern paper and covering up half of my spread And then I'm going to try to kind of embellish the other side of my spread, if that makes sense. I ended up using that yellow pattern paper, tore it a little bit, and added it to kind of, or I tucked it behind my pattern paper. I'm going to stamp Lookin' Sharp, just in a straight line, and this is where my flowers come in. I'm going to end up kind of tucking these flowers behind my pattern paper and to kind of give some softness to my title. And actually, I really like how this one turned out. It really turned out beautiful, even though I had envisioned something totally different, but I'm okay with this. As I said, things like that usually happen to me, and I just have to be more creative and come up with a different way to cover up my mistakes. I'm going to end up fussy cutting out more of these beautiful flowers. I wanted to add them as layers to my layers and to my photo. This really helps bring in some of that black and white from the flowers on the right side to the left side. And also they're just so beautiful. And I always say this, I love adding flowers to my son's layout. I never think like flowers have to be for girls or pink has to be for girls and all that. I just go for it. If I think it looks good, I'm gonna add it. I'm going to start embellishing my layout. I'm going to grab my little drawers of embellishments and add some word stickers, chipboards, little things like that. And this is a good time to add more color to your spread. Now I have 3 colors on my layout. I usually end up with 3. This is something that just automatically happens with me. I don't really think about it, but I notice that I always end up with 3 colors, a 4th as a pop sometimes. But adding that orange ended up being my 4th color, and it added a little pop of a different color on my spread. So if you are always like me, sticking to 3 colors on one spread, it's great to kind of use your embellishments to add more color to your layout, and it really does add a little pop even if it's one embellishment. I'm going to use these little blue puffy stickers, or they're puffy hearts, just to add some depth to those flowers. And while I was going through my puffy hearts, or my puffy stickers, I saw this life puffy sticker, which was so cute, and it really brought the white to the bottom of my photo. I just felt like my photo was layer heavy at the top, so I needed something at the bottom. And I'm going to end up grabbing some of my alpha stickers and adding is good, so it's going to say life is good. And I will kind of add some journaling strips, but I don't think I do it on camera. I'm going to end up adding them later, and you're going to see those once I'm done with my layout and sharing the photos at the end of this video. But I do add a little bit of journaling, and that also will help bring in more of the white to the bottom, so it's going to balance out my photo and my layers a little bit. I added a little pattern stamping to my background. I'm going to grab my crystal drops and just add a few drops here and there. I believe I do add some on my flowers too, just to add a little something to them. And then I call my layout done. Don't forget, I add all the links for everything I used in my videos down in the description box for you. I'm really loving these beautiful ink pads and stamp sets from scrapbookcom. definitely recommend them. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.